Buying a used car in 2026 can be even trickier than it is now in 2025. Prices keep moving, the market isn't as predictable as it used to be, and some models out there still hide transmissions that simply don't hold up over time. For drivers who grew up with dependable automatics, today's mix of CVTs, dual clutches, and weaker gearboxes can feel uncertain, and one wrong choice next year can turn a great deal into an expensive regret. That's why this video is here now, while we're still in 2025, to help you get ahead of the problem. These are 6 cars you should avoid in 2026, not because they look bad or drive poorly, but because their transmissions have real documented histories of slipping, overheating, shuddering, and failing far too early. If you want peace of mind and a car that won't drain your wallet after the purchase, this list will keep you safely away from trouble. Let's start with the 2014 and 2015 Dodge Journey, especially the trims with the 3.6 V6 and the 2.4 engine, because those years are the ones mechanics warn about the most. On paper, they use a regular 6-speed automatic transmission, nothing fancy, but in real life, it just doesn't age well. Owners and technicians report the same pattern over and over. The transmission hesitates at low speeds, slips between gears on acceleration, and develops hard shifts as the miles add up. What makes it tricky is that these issues don't usually show up during a short test drive. Most failures appear gradually around 80,000 to 120,000 miles, when people already feel safe with the purchase. Consumer Reports and RepairPal list early wear, overheating, and fluid-related damage as recurring problems on this exact 6-speed unit in those years. And once it starts acting up, repairs often cost more than the value of the vehicle itself. So when someone goes shopping in 2026 looking for a cheap used family SUV, the Journey might look like a bargain. But the 2014-2015 automatic is the kind of transmission that can turn that bargain into a very expensive regret. Now, let's talk about the 2012 to 2016 Ford Focus, one of the most well-known cases of a transmission that simply didn't work the way it was supposed to. These years came with the PowerShift dual-clutch transmission, a system that Ford hoped would deliver smooth shifts and great fuel economy, but in reality, it became one of the most complained-about gearboxes of the decade. Owners described the same symptoms again and again: shuddering when taking off, jerky shifts in traffic, hesitation when trying to accelerate, and a constant feeling that the car is thinking too long before choosing a gear. Mechanics say the core issue is the dry clutch design, which just doesn't handle daily stop-and-go driving well. Over time, the clutches wear out, the sealing systems fail, and the control module becomes unpredictable. According to Consumer Reports, RepairPal, and years of owner feedback, many Focus units in this range needed major transmission work before even hitting 100,000 miles. And in the used market of 2026, the Focus is one of those cars that looks affordable. But the moment that PowerShift starts acting up, the repair costs quickly erase every dollar you thought you saved. Next on the list is the 2013 to 2021 Nissan Altima, and here we have one of the most talked about CVTs in the entire used car market. These years used Nissan's Xtronic CVT, a transmission that was meant to improve fuel economy, but ended up with a long record of overheating, shuddering, slipping under load, and even complete failure far earlier than normal. Mechanics say the core issue is that this CVT runs hot and doesn't tolerate wear well. Owners report that the symptoms usually start gradually: a slight vibration when taking off, a delay when trying to accelerate, or the RPM jumping without the car gaining speed. As miles build up, often around the 80,000 to 120,000 mile mark, the problems get worse. Consumer Reports, RepairPal, and years of owner complaints all highlight the same pattern. This CVT simply doesn't hold up the way a traditional automatic does. In the 2026 used car market, the Altima might look attractive thanks to its comfort and price. But with the CVT and the 2013-2021 models, the risk is too high. A transmission replacement can cost more than what the car is worth, turning what looks like a smart purchase into a financial trap. Now let's move on to the 2012 to 2016 Nissan Sentra, one of the clearest examples of a CVT that just wasn't ready for real-world driving. These years use an early generation of Nissan's Xtronic CVT, and the pattern of problems is well known among mechanics and owners. Shuddering at low speeds, whining noises when accelerating, sudden RPM flares, and complete failures that often arrive much sooner than they should. The biggest issue with this CVT isn't just durability, it's consistency. Drivers report that even with regular maintenance, the transmission still overheats during city driving or light uphill climbs. RepairPal and Consumer Reports both show lower long-term reliability ratings for these model years specifically because of this gearbox. And once the slipping and vibration start, the cost of repair is usually higher than what most people expect from a compact sedan. So if someone is shopping for a small, affordable car in 2026, the Sentra might look like a safe pick. But the 2012-2016 CVT is the type of transmission that turns a cheap commuter into a steady stream of headaches. It's simply not a system built to last the way older Sentras used to. Now let's talk about the 2019 to 2022 Chevrolet Malibu, but specifically the versions with the 1.5-liter turbo engine. These trims use a CVT, and while Chevy doesn't usually have the same CVT reputation problems as Nissan, this particular unit hasn't aged well. Owners and mechanics report early slipping, hesitation when taking off, and a high tendency to overheat during stop-and-go driving, all signs that this CVT struggles under real-world conditions. Consumer feedback shows a clear pattern. As the miles climb, the transmission starts to feel inconsistent. Some drivers say it revs high without delivering much acceleration, while others experience a delay when shifting into drive or reverse, especially when the car is warmed up. RepairPal notes that several owners faced major CVT repairs before hitting the 100,000 mile mark, something you don't want in a mid-size sedan meant to be a reliable daily driver. So in 2026, when people start seeing these Malibus priced attractively on used car lots, it's important to pause. The 1.5T CVT models from 2019-2022 are simply more fragile than they should be. And when a CVT replacement can cost more than the car is worth, taking this shortcut in price can lead to a long road of regret. If you're finding this helpful so far, take a moment to hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. And feel free to share this video with a friend or family member who's thinking about buying a used car this year. Sometimes one simple heads up can save someone from a very expensive mistake. And if you've ever dealt with a bad transmission yourself, tell us your story in the comments. Your experience might help someone else avoid the same headache. And closing out the list, we have the 2014 to 2019 Jeep Compass, especially the versions equipped with the 2.0 and 2.4 engines paired to the CVT. This is one of those transmissions that works fine when the car is new, but shows its weaknesses as the miles add up. Owners and mechanics report the same pattern. The CVT overheats easily, vibrates during takeoff, hesitates when trying to merge into traffic, and can suddenly lose power under load, all classic signs that this unit wasn't built for long-term durability. Consumer Reports and RepairPal note that many of these Compass CVTs require major service well before 100,000 miles, with symptoms like whining noises, slipping, and delayed engagement becoming more noticeable over time. And because the CVT in this generation wasn't designed with heavy cooling capacity, even normal city driving or warm climates can push it beyond its comfort zone. So in the 2026 used car market, the Compass might catch someone's eye with its size and price, but the 2014-2019 CVT models are the kind of vehicles that turn into steady bills instead of steady transportation. A used SUV should bring confidence, not a countdown until the transmission goes out. At the end of the day, choosing the right used car is really about protecting your peace of mind. A transmission shouldn't be a gamble. It should be something you trust every time you start the engine. And as we've seen, some cars simply carry a history that's too risky to ignore, especially when the goal is to avoid surprise bills and keep driving without drama. So as you look ahead to 2026, remember this. The best purchase isn't the cheapest one. It's the one that lets you enjoy your car without constantly waiting for something to go wrong. A solid transmission gives you confidence, and confidence is worth far more than any deal on paper. Choose wisely, take your time, and let reliability guide the way.